Welcome back to HIM tutorials as electricity and circuits is going on, and today the subtopic which we are going to do, that is electric circuit, and the learning objectives which we are going to achieve up to the end of this session, that is we will learn about the circuits, then we will learn about the symbols, and at last the objective which we are going to achieve, that is the materials which are helpful in electric current flowing. So let's start first with the definition of the electric circuit. So what is electric circuit? It is the path, or you can say a closed path which is used to flow the current from one terminal to the other terminal of the cell or source of energy. So this is the electric circuit, a closed path which is very much helpful in flowing out the current from one terminal to the another terminal of the cell or source of current with the help of another appliances. Many appliances are connected, or many components are connected to this electric circuit. So just to move forward, first we should look that how this current reaches from the powerhouse to our home. For example, this is a powerhouse, okay, where the electricity is generated. From the powerhouse there is one transformer which is step up transformer, and from here with the help of wires there is a big tower, and from the tower again the current goes to the second type of transformer, and that is step down, and then finally it reaches our home. So this is the general idea that how current flows. As powerhouse has to supply electricity to the long distances, so that's why step up transformer is there. It just increases the voltage of the current, and from the wires, with the help of wires from the big towers, it just enters in our home, and before entering the homes such a high voltage will lead to step down, and it enters in our home in form of 220 volts. So the domestic current which enters in our home to just all the appliances in our home, that is of 220 volt current, okay. And this 220 volt current when enters in our house, so three types of wires are responsible for carrying out all the appliances in our house. They are red, then black, and then green. So red is the live wire which carries the current of 220 volt. Black is the neutral wire, and green is the earthing wire. Earthing wire means a wire which lead to conduct the extra amount of current which is present in the appliance to the earth, just to get rid of from the electric shock. If any, sometimes what happen when we touch the electric appliance, even our hands are not wet, then also we got the shock, that is the electric shock. And what this earth wire do, they just earth that current before we touch the appliance with our hand. And how is it possible? You might have heard about 3-pin plugs, and you have seen also 3-pin plugs in a house. It is having one long and two short points in it. So this long point is for the earthing. What happen when this 3-pin plug is enter into the socket? First of all, this green color earth pin enters into the socket, and if there is any kind of extra amount of current present in that appliance, that will immediately goes to the earthing. So we will not get the shock. and one is for the neutral wire and second is for the red, that is the live wire. So 220 volt of current is entering in our house as a domestic, for the domestic purpose. Neutral wire has 0 volt, it has no current in it. It means the total current which is entering in our house, that is the 220 volt. Okay, so this red, black and green, this is the old concept of the wiring. But according to the new concept of the wiring, the live wire is brown color and the neutral wire is blue color and the earthing wire is again green color. So here you can look that the red wire changes to the brown in the new concept and the black wire is changes to the blue in the new concept. Okay, and green remains the green. So this is the concept of wiring and how the wirings are helpful in conducting the charge. So the first thing to make the circuit we had gone through, that is the source of current. The second thing is the use of wires. Okay, now the third thing, when this current from the step down transformer enters to our home, that time there is a main switch present over the main gate and this switch will lead to check out the amount of voltage enter in our house. If it is 220 volt, then it will be okay, and if it is not 220 volt, then it will lead to fuse out. It will lead to fuse out. Fuse out means there is a special kind of small instrument present in it and it has got a wire of very you can say wire of a metal, and that metal, when the current enters into our house, at that time if the current is normal, it is of 220 volt, then nothing will happen to this wire. But if the current increases, the intensity of the current increases from the 220 volt, then this metal wire slowly melts up and it leads to break the circuit and become open circuit, and if it is become open circuit, the conduction of the current will not take place. Okay, so the third thing which is very important in the electric circuit, that is the switch, because it helps the regulating of the current in controlled manner. Whensoever you want to have the current or you want to have the working of any kind of appliance, that time you put on the switch, otherwise you put off the switch. Okay, now the fourth thing which is very much important, we will discuss about that, but first we will go for the circuit. So like this, the current will enter in our house, 220 volts enter in our house. Now it is the time for the wiring and making the circuit. To understand that complex circuit, let's understand about the simple circuit first. Okay, if I go for the simple circuit, I knew that I have to go for the wires, then I have to go for the switch. This is a kind of switch. Okay, and then I have to go for the one more device which is responsible for showing that the current is passing through the circuit or not, and that is the illuminating device which is called as the bulb. So illuminating device is also very important, and this illuminating device, what it is doing, it is just converting the electrical energy into the light energy, and when this electrical energy converts into the light energy, that time we have got the fact that the current is passing out or the current is running in the circuit. Okay, so we have bulb here, we have switch here, but the main thing, the source of energy is not here. So we can't use such a large amount of energy here. So what we are going to use, the first source of continuous flow of current, that is the cell, which was discovered by Alessandro Volta. This is positive terminal and this is the negative terminal. One more thing I want to add here is that if the cells are connected with each other in series, like one after the other, like this, it is positive, it is negative, it is positive, it is negative, it is positive, it is negative, it is positive, okay, one after the other, then this is the series connection. But if the cells are connected to each other like this, this is positive of all the cells and this is negative, positive to negative, positive to negative, then this is the parallel connection. And parallel connection is more convenient because in this connection only one switch is connected to one appliance. And if we go for such kind of series connection, then what will happen? When we switch on one, when we go for the one switch on, then it will lead to enlightened up many kind of appliances like bulb also, fan also, some other appliance also, and this is very inconvenient use of the energy or inconvenient use of the current. So that's why in our domestic household we will go for the parallel connections. Okay, so this is the diagram of the simple circuit I had made for you, and here you can see that if this kind of situation is this, so this is the situation of the open circuit. Now again one question arises that why I had made such kind of thing for the switch, such kind of thing for the bulb. So to answer this question, let me first clarify you the symbols which are used to form the simple circuit. As to form the wire, we use simple line. For the switch, we use two type of things. This and this and this. So here you can see if this kind of switch is there, then it is the off, and this kind of switch is there, then it is on. One more is there, if this kind of switch you are using, this kind of symbol you are using, this is off, and if this kind of symbol you are using, then it is on. And for the switch you can use any of the symbol. For off you can use these type of two symbols, and for on you can use these type of two symbols. This is for wire, switch. Then for the bulb you will use such kind of symbol for the bulb. Okay, now the question is that for the cell what you use? This type of symbol you can use for the cell. The longer one line is for the positive terminal and the shorter one is for the negative terminal. And when number of cells connect together or two or more cells connect together, they form the battery. And for the battery you can use such kind of symbol: positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative. So this is positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative. Okay, so this type of symbol you can use for the battery. Now why we use symbols? Why don't we draw the diagram of all the components which are used in electric circuit? So it is very much tough to draw all the diagrams of the components. So to just simplify and to understood the circuit in simple way, we use the symbols, or we go for the symbols. So now we will discuss about the two type of circuits. This is the simple diagram of the circuit. Now we will go for the open circuit and the closed circuit. Just to find out the symbol. This is the bulb and this is the connection. Okay, so this is the positive terminal, this is negative, this is positive, this is negative. Now as we know that when this type of situation occurs, so this is the off condition. Okay, and if it is off condition, it means the circuit is open. You can see it is open from here. If the circuit is open, no current flows. Okay, now if we go for this condition, so this is the closed circuit, you can see. So this is on condition, closed condition, and the current flows. So what we have learned, that if the circuit is open, no current will flow, and if the circuit is closed, then the current will flow. And how we can know that the current flows in the circuit? By the glowing of the bulb. So this is about the two types of circuits. And the next is for the materials, as we have earlier learnt also that there are two kind of materials, conductors and insulators. Conductors are those which help in flow of electric current because they have what? They have free electrons in them. So conductors help in flow of current, and insulators are those which do not allow the flow of current. Conductors, for conductors we can take metals like copper, silver, iron, gold. But silver and gold we can't use for making wires because they are very much expensive. So to make the wires cheap and inexpensive, we go for the aluminium wires or we go for the copper wires. And for the insulators, the examples are wood, paper, air is very good insulator, glass is very good insulator. So these are the things which act as an insulator because they do not have any kind of free electrons to conduct the charge. Also, I want to add here in the last that you should not go for the direct touching of the any kind of circuit because it can lead to electric shock. And electric shocks are very dangerous to us because their direct effect is on our nervous system, that is our brain. Also it lead to damage our heart attack can also take place, and if the electric shock is very severe, then it also leads to death. And if you find any person who is having electric shock, don't go and touch that person because your body is also a conductor and you might have got the shock. So if you want to just help that person, then touch the person with the rubber hand gloves, or you can also use a stick of wood or plastic or any rubber, and just to give one hard pat on that part of the body which is in direct contact with the electric appliance. So with this, I thank you all for listening, and I hope that all the things are clarified to you, that what are the different kind of wires we are using at home, and what are the two types of circuits we are using, and what are the conductors and what are the insulators. So up to our next video, keep watching, keep learning. Thank you so much.